when you look at, and correct me if I'm mispronouncing this beautiful German, but Der Brauch, that's how you say it, Der Brauch?
No, it's Brauch.
Brauch. Oh, all right, burn as you go. All right. In the context of the band's history, does it feel like the continuation of something you've been circling for years or like a conscious break from it?
It's more like we've coming back to where we started. Um, the second album of ours is to my mind the fans' favorite album. And after that, we progressed more into like a mathcore type of music. It was to the time that we toured with the Dillinger Escape Plan in 2013. And after that, we somehow their style get into our music. And last year I was at a point where I thought maybe I should just do what I feel like and don't I was it's not like that we were thinking that we want to go to a certain style with our music or that we want to approach a special um a special style, but it was like I had the feeling that we with the previous albums we wanted to be freaky, to be genty, to be hard, to be difficult, to be funny. Um, and last year I was at a point that I just wanted to make the music that I felt. Maybe it was also because I was more alone and not with my bandmates. I composed the songs more or less alone, and I tried not to think about what I want to approach with that, and just yeah, what I felt. Yeah, maybe that's the answer to your question.
I love it. It leads beautifully into my next one. So, did your role as songwriter feel heavier or lighter this time around compared to earlier records?
That's a good question. Maybe both. At the beginning, I was uncertain if I can do this on my own. Ilya, the bass player in our band, who will actually will
Well, I am
eventually.
actually here already.
He's there already. Hi.
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 Surprise. Hi.
Perfect.
Please continue. I
Yeah,
didn't want
thank
to
you.
disturb.
No worries. On the previous album, Urian, Ilya was maybe the main composer, or the parts were more like similar. And at the beginning of this process, I was uncertain if I can do this on my own. If that I'm doing is makes sense for my bandmates and for me and for our fans. Um, but on the other hand, it felt lighter, it felt easier because I don't have to um, discuss the music. I don't have to present the music to my bandmates. And what was new to me was that we met, or I met with our producer team, Justin and David. Justin is also our live mixer, our live front of house guy, and they are very supportive people. They are very they were very excited about the music, and that felt very good. And that was maybe something we were missing in the band, because we are always very critical with each other and with ourselves. This is something we yeah developed over the year, that we are maybe overcritical with what we are doing. I don't know, but that was new, that was supportive, that was nice to have, and that made the process yeah easier.
If I might add, this time it was also pretty, yeah, that is absolutely everything very true because with our last album that we did with the old producer, Tim Tauterat, during our collapse era, the thing was sort of shifting into that we weren't quite happy with the way we were producing as well in a producer team with him together. Today, it's a much criticized album in our discography for the production and sound. And like for some odd reasons, we already felt that things were drifting apart with him and us at that point, and that it probably did not make so much sense to make the next record directly with him. So we started to self-produce a lot on our own. But that then again took a lot of different directions and went here and there. During Urian, we had found this producer team with David and Justin from 1408 Productions. But it still was like kind of a lot doing production by ourselves. And like with Urian, where I maybe wrote a couple of pieces more, I already did a big part of the production by myself to certain songs. So this time, I think with Nils meeting up with the producer team, there was just a flow there and like a new way of working together that we hadn't done like this the way before. Also, I wasn't present at that time due to other touring obligations and other stuff going on. So this was a really special, unique kind of situation that I think we hadn't encountered in years. That's why obviously the result turned out very different.
It's like you made a lot of really bold choices. Production especially, and making those decisions probably helped you to have a lot of strength in the creative process, especially with the title that I struggle to pronounce properly. With it kind of emulating rituals and habit and tradition, at what point during the writing process did you guys decide what this album was about, and how did you all kind of coordinate on that?
Actually, it was clear from the beginning, because on this album the lyrics came at the same time as the music. That is something different to the previous album as well. Our main process was to write music, and when the song is finished, we thought about, okay, what could the song be about, and then we wrote the lyrics. But this time I was writing the lyrics on the fly with the instrumental. It was clear to me that I wanted to write about my situation, maybe my situation inside the band, but also my situation inside the music business, my career at this point. I found out that I was somehow trapped inside my professional situation. I don't know if you can. I think you understand what I have been. I've been trying for 18 years to make this band my main income.
It kind of came to the conclusion that it won't read itself well on a paper if you try to apply for it. Now, a different studies or a different kind of job where it just says, well, I did Hirsch Effekt for 18 years. Like, this is what I did. So would you now give me the job? Because of course, maybe other opportunities, other realities that the roads could not be taken in that time span that one put into building up this band. So like certain chances to become a lawyer or some other professions might just be like out of the window. And it's, I guess it's like coming to terms with a certain reality that one has built for oneself.
I'm in my 40s now. I think it's the same in the US. Life is more expensive than it was 10 years ago. I'm teaching guitar. For many years, I was able to live from teaching guitar, and I could, everything I earned with the band was nice to have. And in this century, there was a turning point that I somehow needed the income of the band as an addition to what I earn with teaching to make a living. And I realized I have very few opportunities to do something else because of my of my because I was so focusing on this band, and on the same hand, I needed this band to go on. I needed us to go on tour. For many years, we were doing 2 tours a year, more or less, and that's where we make most of our money with the band, because when we are touring, we can sell merch. And yeah, if there's no new music, there's no tour. And that was also a financial problem that I discovered in my life. And then I thought, okay, the band is it's not enough for me, and on the same time, it's too much to just give it up. We played a very nice end of the year show on Saturday, and this is a very good example for what we have achieved in this 18 years. It was, the audience was great. These shows are make me think, yeah, that's these shows are the reason for that I'm doing this.
Pays off then. Yeah.
Yeah,
It pays
this
off.
is so hard to give up.
Honestly, you have way more emotional intelligence than a great many American bands at this point, especially with this new surge with AI and
Oh
the
yeah.
lack of understanding for the process and the adversity. And you guys have been through a lot. So I completely understand.
That's very true. And if I might say and add, I mean, the music business, you said AI is turning to, like, it was bad before already and has been bad for artists since streaming, but things are getting even worse with all these different points, the rising costs for everybody, monopolies that are, well, are there in the meantime with Live Nation and other big companies, sort of like, just monopolizing and keeping all the rights for themselves and deciding who plays where. And it's really hard because you have to take certain prices nowadays also for tickets. Otherwise, promoters won't do shows with you. But at the same time, everybody's expecting you to just keep on selling higher numbers all the time, which is just sometimes not possible. Everything changed again in the pandemic after that. That is true. The only way we make as a band income is if we go on tour and sell merch. Like, those are the only two things that have that are still left there: ticket sales, where you get your cut from, and then the merch sales. So that's very interesting. Weird times.
Absolutely insane times. And then a number of our legendary venues are going up in flames. Like Chain Reaction just went down, and that was one of the most legendary Los Angeles area venues. And I know it's because of rising costs, but it's like, I don't know how it is in Germany if you have that local venue that everybody congregates at and you got to know all of your friends there. But I mean, that was where everybody went. So it's crazy. And I hope that when you do tour here, there's even a venue left, that doesn't have anything to do with Live Nation. So your guitar work often feels like, architecture. Did this album change the way you think about guitars and structure and the tools at all?
The previous albums, I was more thinking that I wanted to exponate my skills, that I wanted to show that I'm a good guitar player. And this album maybe is the first time where I stop thinking about that, where I just if this part is not difficult to play, it's totally okay if it fits to the song. I think this is a big difference to the previous album and to my guitar work on this album. It's it's not so difficult to play. It's not, it is heavy, but it's not, I play less notes.
It's maybe not so tech driven.
Yeah.
Or not from the playing style that one knows from heavy metal music in general. Like, it's just the influences come here and there from more genres. Like, there are a lot of bluesy parts as well. So, in my opinion,
Not agree with that, but okay.
okay, interesting.
I disagree. I love it, honestly. The very first track hit me like a ton of bricks. There is, it's like I said in the very beginning of the interview, people are going to jump on my butt for not adhering to our genre standards and, you know, the fraction of being folk metal, but there's so much more elegance to it that revolves around where you come from. And, you know, if it gives the image of, you know, the elegance of Germany and the things that we kind of overlook, then you're doing your job beyond reason. But I mean, metal often values power. Where does ritual, repetition, or you know, vulnerability fit into the equation for you when it came to the writing process?
You mean in the way that the lyrics are written, or
I think in the finale, as you heard, I'm guessing you heard the album completely through when it was done. Was there a point, was there any given point where you heard it and it made you feel emotional, where you're like, wow, I know this is gonna nail, you know, everything that we want it to nail for, you know, whoever receives it.
yeah, totally. There's there are some parts on the album that still give me goosebumps, which is kind of embarrassing because I wrote it myself. And giving yourself goosebumps with your own music is kind of embarrassing. But this is something I feel from the beginning, since I'm making music, that I'm on the on the one hand I'm embarrassed about myself, and on the other hand I'm touched. Was heißt denn gerührt?
Yeah, touched. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel touched.
What I'm hoping is that I'm opening a room and to inside myself that people can enter, and hopefully they can find something they feel as well. It may be not the same because I'm writing about a certain special situation, but I think and I hope other people can relate.
That's a perfect answer.
I was not even sure if it was an answer to your question, but
No,
if you think so,
it was perfect. I love how you struggle to bear your emotions to me, because it just shows how deeply metal you are on the inside. You don't know how to tell me what's up, and it's good. It's really good. You're keeping your image. But if this album ends up being someone's first Hirsch Effekt album, someone stumbles upon this album, and they've never heard any of your
Yeah.
previous albums, what do you think they'll immediately understand about what you are trying to project to them? And what do you think might take them a couple of tries or maybe some further research?
Our music is so diverse that it's always it's hard to pick a song to say this song. If you want to know how the album sounds, listen to that song. And it's also difficult to say you want to know how our band sounds, then listen to that album. This is, on the one hand, I think it's fun for the people who like some music, and on the other hand, it's very difficult to reach new people. It makes it difficult to reach new people because we are so hard to grab.
Categorize, yeah.
Yeah, to categorize. I think this album it's kind of fragile. It's not that there's no show off. Maybe this is something you get from the beginning. And if you want to understand this band in total, you want to get the funny parts, you have to dig deeper into our work, if this makes sense for you.
The record is very different in terms of it is very artsy this time, and like in my opinion, leaning like in a positive way, like leaning towards more of that. It is not so much metal as our previous record was, or like people who know maybe us from the escapist era, that was really like math metallish. That is like not one of the trademarks that settles on this album, because it's just about a different musical side that, in my opinion, traces back a little bit more to the first two records that are, by the way, quite different to compare to our latest works, like in the recent years as well. So then again, throughout the years, I've found it harder to really try to understand what the fan will feel while listening to new Hirsch Effekt music, because, as Neil said, the directions can sometimes go to so many different places that it's hard to even like pick a trademark song nowadays and say, well, yes, this is a typical Hirsch Effekt track. Like, what is the typical Hirsch Effekt track nowadays? It's like we've gone through a lot of different things, and for like this time, it's a more emotional, softer record. I would put it that way, maybe, as a couple of previous ones, but it's just shows a very different side, which is a good thing, I think. It's definitely a record where the band did not repeat themselves.
Yeah, and what's interesting for me is that I'm still talking to magazines who has the word metal included, like this one, or I've had an interview with a Metal Hammer, and nobody's complaining that this album is no metal. That's that's very interesting for me.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah. Also, I must add something which was very different this time. I don't know if you guys already addressed it. Is the track list, because we usually used to pick words in different languages, or came up with some weird stuff to make it sound super fancy and, just weird to irritate people. And this time, the songs, I think, mostly turn out, like the titles turn out the way they were written as the diary entries, Like, we did not change the song titles to some weird other language, but actually, I think Neil sort of like showed the titles at the end of the process and was like the songs are at this moment named this. And then I think I was the one who wrote in a band chat, like, I would find it great if this time we just kept it that way, because it's something we've never done. We've like just never left the titles to be German and like have the more direct association with the song lyrics. So why not do things just differently this time? That was something new as well. Yeah.